Hello, good. Hello again, YouTube friends, fellow watchers. Uh, this is so funny. Start this over and over again and try to get it right and end up tongue-tied anyway. Um, anyway, I said I would get my rapture dreams to you. I'll start off with this one. I believe I was at my church. It appeared to be my church building. I know we were sitting down on the pew, and it's short. It's just a short dream now. It's just a short one. But I remember we were sitting there, and there was a lot of commotion going on. And all of a sudden, it's like I look up, and as I'm looking up at the ceiling, I begin to rise up. It was like a real floating sensation that I tell you, as I'm going through the roof, if I was in my physical, I would say, ouch, because in your physical, naturally you bump into it, but in this dream I didn't. It's like I just went through the roof. And anyway, when I come out from the roof, I noticed it was daylight, and I could see the sky, and I could see the clouds, and then all of a sudden, it's like I started shooting up. I could feel the adrenaline just pumping as I'm going up. It was so fast. And all at once, I reached up my arm, and it was like I couldn't wait to get there. And I said, my Lord. And I just couldn't wait to see his face, and I was going up. And it's the hardest thing to explain how fast. I mean, it's just real fast motion. And I remember as I got closer up, I got faster and faster. Now, I didn't get to the top. I didn't see the Lord. I didn't get to the top. But I could still feel the floating sensation. And this dream changed around somewhat. It went from that into where I was at my old home place. And I could see everything. I could see the houses. I could see the one that I'd lived in as a child. I could see the one that my neighbor, my papa, rented the house from here, that lived here. And I used to go visit her. I could see her house. And I'm floating through this place that I'm at. I'm floating in this area. And anyway, I remember just kind of looking around at the scenery, just remembering where I used to walk, and remembering the home I used to live in, just a little old white house, old-fashioned farm-type building. Pretty to me. I wasn't the most extravagant place. The floors creaked, but still it was home to me. And out of all the places that I have lived, and I have lived a lot of places, this was always my home. My home would always be there. As a child, I grew up there more than I did anywhere else. Every time we moved, I came back there. We came back every time. And so I lived there more than I did anywhere else. So I don't know why I went from a rapture dream to floating around my old home place. But I remember that I didn't want them to tear it down. They were going to tear it down, and I was upset about it. And it was like, but I couldn't control anything. I could just kind of see what was going on. And anyway, it seemed like they tore the house down in my dream and put up a new one. And I ended up inside of it, and it was the most beautiful place with stairs, the beautiful staircase, the most beautiful place. I mean, it looked so much better than that home. I remember being satisfied with that home, you know. Didn't have central heating and stuff, didn't have the best things in the world, didn't even have closets. You had to hang your clothes up on the wall, the corners of the wall. My papa had homemade those places, And so I just, as I began to gaze upon this beautiful place, I kept thinking within myself, why in the world was I having such a fit over that home? look how beautiful this was, and it is still my home, but it's a better place, And then I guess somewhere along the way I began to understand that it was a blessing. It was a true blessing to be where I was and to have something better than I expected to have, even though I was okay with what I had. I finally accepted that that was my new home, and it was beautiful. And sometime after that I woke up. That's all I remember. But then this other rapture dream happened, and it was a few days, I think day before yesterday, early in the morning. I got up to go to the bathroom. I remember telling my husband, I said, I had another rapture dream. And a lot of times I don't remember them. I didn't really remember this one till today. And I had to tell myself, I had to write it down so that I would not forget, because I wanted to tell you about it. This one was kind of different. Because a few days earlier I was seeing people, in another dream I was seeing people being held by gunpoint. And I remember the reason they were being held by gunpoint is because the people that were holding the guns on these people, they were holding these people so that they couldn't go stop what was about to happen on the other side of the town. So they were going to stop them from, getting away so they could not mess up their plan. And that wasn't very long of a dream at all. I just remember that I could see the men, they were just holding everybody hostage, keeping them from getting where they need to be. So then everything sort of transitioned back to the coming of the Lord again to me. And we ended up in this dream. And like I said, I didn't remember it till today, because most of the time I don't remember them. I have them a lot, but I don't remember them. But this part I do remember about it. I remember that my husband was inside this building, and I remember it was night, and I went outside, and I was with somebody else. I remember being outside talking to somebody else when I began to gaze up at the moon, and there was some clouds in the sky, and I remember seeing the most beautiful streaks of lightning. It wasn't like any lightning that I was accustomed to. I remember in the dream I was like, that is so beautiful, the most beautiful light. It was better than disco lights. It was the most beautiful lighting that you could ever see happening in the sky. And then all of a sudden things began to change, and the clouds, it looked like one went down, and others went over this way, and others went over this way. And I was watching the moon, and I began to see the moon sort of follow the clouds this way, and then the moon began to move. And so I took off running. I was getting ready. I wanted my husband to be with me. I knew Jesus was coming. And I have this weird thing. I want me and my family to be together when Jesus comes, and I want us to be holding hands, which I don't know how. I know it's going to be quick, but still, it'd just be nice if it happened with my family together, and us all hear the sound of the trumpet at the same time. Well, in this dream, I took off running from my husband, and I opened the door, and I said, Jesus is coming. We got to get out of here, We got to hold each other's hand and get ready. And I remember we all grabbed each other's hand, and the others that was with us, and I grabbed my daughter's hand, and I remember we just began to look up, and we were getting ready, and the trumpet had begun to sound, and I woke up. Folks, I know that we're running out of time, and I wish I had had this laptop a long time ago. And like I said, I'm not fancy with my words. I don't really know how to put things into perspective the way that I want to explain it. My heart could explain it to you better than I can. I have a hard time getting my words out the way that I want to say, and maybe sometimes I say it different than what my heart is actually want to speak. Or maybe I may say it in a way that you don't understand. I hope I don't. I hope you don't. I would never want to cause confusion. But one thing stands in my mind is that He is coming soon. And in the hours of the night when everybody's asleep and the computer's off and the TVs are off and everything's quiet, and it's like I can hear the deafening sound of silence, and it's just like in the midst of that silence is where you think that sound is going to blast. The silence is so loud, as if you can just hear the sound of the trumpet. And even in the thunderings during a storm, it's like I can hear the voice of God. And it's amazing sometimes where you can sense the anger that He must have for the sin that's going on in this world. You know, at the same time, the love that He feels for His children, and then the anger for the sins. And we just, we're running out of time, I know. And I want to go home. I do. But I have friends that they're not looking. They're not ready. And I'm doing everything I can to minister to them. I hope this never happens, but I hope they get right with God before the rapture. I hope they do, but if they don't, I'm leaving some things behind to help them, hopefully, to make the right decision, even if it means their life. And I'm going to say, from the bottom of my heart, I wouldn't want anybody to be left here during the next 7 years that are going to occur after that. I may not have big words to speak, but I'm telling you out there, if you're lost and you're listening and you're within the sound of my voice, there's someone who loves you. He loves you so very much that He gave His life for you at Calvary. He died on the cross, and He rose again the third day. He took on Him all our pains and all our heartaches. He experienced these things for us. He didn't have to die, but He loved us enough that He did. And you may feel alone right now and deserted and wonder why my God would love you after what you've done in your life. If you just call out to Him, just call out to Him. Get on your knees and call out to Him. I can promise you this, that in a very strange way, you'll begin to feel something change inside of you. And things will get so much better. Life isn't easy. When you become a Christian, life doesn't become a bed of roses. It gets hard. And you may have to struggle, because if you struggle, you can fight, you can come through it. So don't give up hope. Call out to Him while He may be found. Listen to Him, just listen. He's calling out your name. He desires to come into your heart, to save you, because He wants you to be with Him someday. He loves you. And I'm going to leave you with this saying that my husband and I used to say on the TV and radio. We just had a local TV broadcast in Georgia, and we had a little radio program years ago in our local small town. Not going to go into a lot of detail unless you want me to, but yeah, it was no big thing, and we never asked for money. So it doesn't matter how far we travel. We don't ask. If people bless us, then that's them. But we always wanted to do the work of the Lord without pay, because we feel that that's what we want to do. So anyway, God bless you. Um, we'll leave our light on for you, and just take care of yourself and each other. Love each other and seek the Lord while he may be found. God bless you and good night.